Hi, this is Mr. Smith, and in this video I'll be going over the syllabus. So the first thing you'll notice here is this is the Math1314 syllabus. That's for college algebra. And the other course that's linked to this course is DMAT0315, which is essentially beginning and intermediate algebra, or at least topics from those two courses. So the only difference between the two syllabi, if you look at each course, the syllabi is just a little bit different. The only difference is in the description of what's covered in Math 1314, which is what you're going to see in here, although I don't go over it in the video. And in the DMAT syllabus, you'll see the topics covered in that course. So that's the only difference in the two syllabi. So unless you're interested in knowing those detailed topics in the DMAT 0315 syllabus, you can just focus on what's here. It's got all the important information. So first of all, if you need to get a hold of me, we're supposed to get back to you within 24 hours, but normally I'm much quicker than that. In fact, during the day, a lot of times, unless I'm with someone else, I'll respond almost right away. I'm not guaranteeing that, but usually I'm much faster than 24 hours. Of course, on the weekends, depending on what I'm up to, I may or may not be able to get right back to you. But I always do my best to get back as soon as I can. Let's see, so my name is Scott Smith, and I also go by 1T, which is my nickname, because my mom forgot to put in my other T in Scott. My email is scottsmith@dccd.edu, and you can either reach me there or you can reach me at this Google Voice number. And excuse me. So I don't know about you, sometimes when I'm doing email I get frustrated if it's like this long spread out email. If you want to have a conversation, you can give me a call. All right, so either way is fine by me. I'm off campus this semester, as are most of the teachers, and my office hours, I will let you know what those are this week. Normally you'll have about an hour, but we'll also have some time during class where I'll be done with the lesson and you'll be working on my math lab, and I can keep the session open and you can ask questions and stuff like that. So if you need to get a hold of the division office for some reason, this is how you contact them. At least for now, you're going to want to use the virtual office link here. You can do that in the syllabus. There's also a place to do that in eCampus. And I'll show you if you watch the video tour of eCampus and my math lab. All right, let's move on to the next slide. So this is college algebra. This is the section that you're in. We're going to be meeting online from 9 to 10:20 each day. Now, so this is not a true online course when it comes to that regard. The reason why I'm doing it this way as opposed to just a regular online course is this course is a very challenging course because, for one, we're doing two courses in one, but also a lot of times students in this course just really struggle with algebra. And so if you want to give yourself the best chance to be successful in this course, you really need to have that daily feedback each day and the lessons each day. Go home and work on the homework, or I should say you'll be home, work on the homework, and then we'll do the same thing the next day. And what you don't want to be doing is cramming on the weekends, but all to say, I set it up this way because I think that gives you guys the best chance of being successful. So as far as certification is concerned, we'll talk about that in a little more detail later. Basically, that's the day that I certify that you're attending the course and you're participating, and I'll tell you what I'm looking for in order to certify you on that date. We'll get to that in a little bit. The last day to withdraw is November 12th, 2020. So you have quite a while if for some reason you do need to withdraw. And I just really encourage you to make sure you do it the right way. Sometimes students will get frustrated and they just disappear. They come back a few years later and some things have changed, but they suddenly find out they're on academic probation. So you want to make sure if you withdraw that you do it the right way. All right, let's move on to the next slide. So here it says required course materials, and it talks about this included program, or include ed. Basically what that means is for most students in most classes, your books are part of the cost of the course. So in our case, the main thing that we use is MyMathLab, which is an online program that also has an online textbook. And you'll be doing your assignments online in that program. Well, in past semesters, students were spending about $100 for the program. You're basically spending $20 extra per credit hour. So what that means is you're essentially spending about $60. So at least for this course, you're definitely saving money. Now, one thing though I do need to let you know, the graphing calculator is not considered part of the course materials. It is something that you're going to need to get if you don't already have one. I would encourage you to check with friends and family, and maybe somebody's got one hanging around if you don't. Sometimes you can go online and find some nice deals, but it's really important that you have a TI 83 or 84. 84 would be best, especially if you're going to be moving on to courses like trigonometry and calculus. I do want you to notice these are calculators that you can't have, and if you have questions about your calculator, just let me know and I can let you know if it's approved or not. All right, let's move on to the next slide. So computer with internet access. So clearly, since we're doing all the homework online, it's important that you have, hopefully you have your own computer with internet access, or at least access to a computer that you're going to have for a lot of time, because you will spend a lot of time working through the homework assignments and the other assignments. So we're doing MyMathLab through eCampus. This is a little bit different if you've used MyMathLab before. Normally in the past we would go to some other website and sign into MyMathLab totally separate of eCampus. Now in eCampus you will click on the MyMathLab link and you'll have a couple of things you have to do. Just follow the directions on the screen and then you'll be able to go right into the course. And so you'll always access the course through eCampus. Let's see, I think that's all I want to say here. Let's move on to the next page. So procedures and policies. So in an online course, it's so important that you have good communication with your instructor. In fact, this isn't just true online, but it's especially true online. I've literally had students that I've watched fail because they just weren't willing to ask questions for whatever reason. It's truly an important part of learning, and if you want to be successful and you want to get a degree and you're not willing to ask questions, you really need to kind of reevaluate things, because I don't know, I mean, I was a pretty smart student, but I asked a ton of questions going through college. And, you know, it's just part of learning. So if that's an area where you need to grow, you need to start growing really quick, because that's so important. So please let me know how things are going, if you're having any problems. That's what I'm here for. And if I don't know the answer, I'll look to find someone that does. So each week I'll be making announcements in campus. So I'll also bring up the more important things in class, but you should pay attention to those. Now, if you're not getting those in your email, then that would be an indication that your email address in eConnect is not correct. You should be getting these emails not only from me, but also from your other instructors. Note the course schedule is included in the syllabus, so it's nice. A lot of students will print that out and you know, have that available as you're doing your assignments. You'll also see the due dates for the assignments when you're working in MyMathLab. So there's a number of assignments that are due on August 30th. The due dates are in there. let's see, I already talked about communication as far as email and all that. I do want to say, if you email me or you text me, let me know what class you're in. Otherwise, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to go, who the heck is this? Okay, so please, I need to know which class you're in. I have 7 classes this semester. Attendance and participation. All right, so now if you're attending all the sessions the first week and before September 5th, I'm probably going to certify you as attending the course, but you really need to complete assignments 1.1 through 1.6. These are homework assignments, and quizzes 1 and 2. So basically, there's about 3 or 4 assignments per course when I teach college algebra. And because we're doing 2 courses in one, you're going to have anywhere from 6 to 8 assignments. So these early assignments, a lot of it should be hopefully review of things that you've done before, and hopefully, I'd much rather go a little bit faster early on when it's review topics than later on when we're dealing with some hardcore college algebra topics. So really, how you do this first week is a good gauge if you're going to have enough time and if you're going to be able to put in the time that you're going to need to be successful in this course. So I'm looking for you to complete these 8 assignments with an average of 70% or better by August 30th. Now I can give you a little more time than that if you come up a little bit short, but that's what I'm looking for. The other thing I want to say here is you really ought to go for 80%, because as you're going to see shortly, if you have 80% on all the homework throughout the course, at the end of the semester I will replace your lowest test score with what you get on the final. And in the past, that's helped many students out. And I'll be honest with you, most students that are doing 80% or better on the homework assignments are going to be successful. It's not a guarantee, because there's a right way and a wrong way to do homework, but that's a really good start if you want to be successful. And by the way, if for some reason you're not certified, you come up short, that can affect your financial aid. If you're a veteran and you're getting money, it can affect those kinds of things. So please communicate with me if you're having any issues, but you're doing everything you can to be certified. All right? And really, it starts by just coming to all the sessions, the 4 sessions each week. But it also is important that you're doing those assignments. All right, let's move on to the next slide. So you can see the percentages here for homework, 16% of your grade. The quizzes are 8%. There's 7 tests, so that would indicate each of them is 8%, total of 56%. And the final is 20% of your grade. So again, if you do well on the final and you replace your lowest test score, it can really help you out at the end of the semester. Hopefully you'll be in a strong position, but if not, I've seen many students finish strong and pull out a passing grade. All right, so the grading scale is the standard scale, 90 to 100 is an A, and so on. All right, let's go on to the next slide. So description of graded work. So basically the homework is to practice the concepts from each section that we cover in the textbook. The great thing about my math lab is it gives you immediate feedback as you're working through the problems. You know if you're doing the problems right or wrong. But I just want to caution you, be sure that you work out all your homework in a homework notebook. You should still write the problems out and do the work. Writing out the solutions is going to help you to master the concepts long term. I don't know about you, but I know for me, it always helped a lot for me to write things out. The other thing is when you get to the quizzes, if you have some challenges, you can go back and look at some of the things that you did in the homework, in your notes. And you can also, I would also encourage you to do the quizzes in your notebook. So notice what it says here. The quizzes will assess your ability to recognize and complete problems from multiple sections, which is really the same kind of thing you do on a test. So really it's practice for when you take the test. Let's say you do homeworks 1 through 6 and let's see, what is it, 1 through 3, and then you take the quiz on sections 1 through 3. I would try to do that without using any notes, but if you do really poorly, that's an indication that you need to do some work. And so you can go over your quiz, you can go back and look at some of the homework sections, you would have seen some things there, and then retake it a second time. And if you can do that without looking, then that's a good indicator that you're ready, or at least you've learned that material. You will have 60 minutes to complete the test. And again, you get 2 chances at them, and I'll basically take your highest score. On the test, let's see, what do I want to say here? I will be collecting your work, so again, it's important not only that you can get an answer, but you should be able to show me how you arrive at that answer, and I will be looking through your work when I grade your test. We'll talk more about that when we get to the first test. And you will take those in my math lab. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. Oh, extra credit. So this is a nice deal here. For each test, there will be an opportunity to earn a maximum of 5 extra credit points on the test by completing the review in my math lab prior to taking the test, with the exception of the final exam. So we don't do this on the final. So basically, if you get between 90 to 100 on the review for test 1, I'll give you 5 bonus points on the test. And you can see, if you get 70 to 74, you're going to get 1 bonus point. So you want to be shooting for that 90 or better so you can get 5 bonus points. Let's say that you get an 85 on the first test, that bumps you up to a 90. And believe me, the last time I taught this course, it made the difference for some students, whether they got an A or B or C, or whether they even passed the course. So those are, the reviews will help you to be successful on the test if you take them seriously. What happens sometimes is students run out of time to do the homework, they don't get enough time to do the review test, and they don't get those points, and worst of all, they're not ready for the test. So it's just so important that you get off to a good start, you're staying on a strong schedule. Procrastination is your enemy, not your friend. So just, make it a goal, you got to be almost stubborn about it, that you're going to get those assignments done on time, and then you're going to have time to study for tests. And anyway, final exam. The final is comprehensive, which means it covers material from throughout the course. There are no extra credit opportunities, there's no retakes. So it's really important at the end of the semester that you can show us that you've learned some of the key concepts of college algebra. Because the thing is, most students that take this course are moving on to other math courses, and it's really important that you build a good foundation that's going to help you be successful when you move on. All right, so let's see, we're getting close to the end here. What if you come up short in Math 1314, college algebra? How do things work with DMAT0315? Well, here's the deal. So for DMAT0315, that's the review part of this course, students will earn the higher of the following 2 grades. The student's course average for work through test 5, including test 5, the first 5 tests. So in other words, when you get to test 5, if you're passing the course, if you're passing college algebra after the 5th test, then you're going to get a passing grade for DMAT0315. So that means if you had to redo the college algebra part, you wouldn't have to retake the other part. The other possible way is the other way is you get the average grade that you got from 1314. So if you get a C in 1314, you're guaranteed to get a C in the DMAT course. Students who earn a final grade of D in Math 1314 can also will also get a C or 70% in the other course. And so those are the ways that you can get at least credit for the first part of the course. And as a very minimum, that would be what I'd be shooting for. I've had students that have taken this course before and they came up short in college algebra the first time, but by testing out of that other part, the next time they don't have to take 2 courses, they just have to take the 1. And normally my return students are pretty successful. So I hope to see everybody get through, but the most important goal is to get closer. The most important thing is to get closer and closer to your goal. So let's see what you can accomplish this semester. There is a way to test out of 0315, but I'll just warn you, that's a tough test. I've had people pass it, but it's a tough test. Institutional policies, so there's other things I haven't talked about, but things like disability services, Title IX. If you've never read the policies for our institution, then I would encourage you to look through those and make sure you understand what's there. Ask questions if you have questions. All right, I'm going to try to wrap this up. So last thing we need to talk about is the course schedule. So here's our first week, and as I said, we've got sections 1.1 through 1.6, quizzes 1 and 2. And all of that is due on the 30th. And again, 70% at the very least, but be shooting for 80%. And so again, you have this schedule. This is what you'll be doing next week. And you can see in the 3rd week, we're going to have our test. So again, I'll give you weekly announcements for as far as what's due and anything that's important. But you do have the schedule, not only here, but also in my math lab, you'll see the due dates. All right, so that's all I have to say about the syllabus. If you have any questions, you can ask me in our daily sessions, or you can contact me through any of those ways that I told you about. And looking forward to this semester, and I hope you have a great experience. I'll talk to you soon.